What's up, good people, and welcome to the finale recap show from BMF season 4, where we have tons to talk about tonight with you all live joining us on all the live platforms, probably primarily YouTube at this rate. But nonetheless, find us at BigOBelt.com and on all socials. Lucas, how you doing tonight?
Hey, man, I am good, so we can talk about this Mexico trip that my man was running like Ricky to get away from everything.
Yeah. I think tonight probably gonna be a lot. I mean, there's some major scenes in the finale. There's obviously talks about season 4 overall, and the future of BMF. But I think probably less of the events of the episodes, because I think there's 2 major scenes, but I definitely think there's a lot of sort of conclusions about everything. And I think the first and most responsible thing to start off this recap is to discuss, how did you feel about the finale episode by itself? I have seen some takes saying it was underwhelming. Some people felt like it was rushed.
Really?
I saw a couple of different things there, but I'm curious about what you think.
At this point, especially with BMF, I think that, and I'm not saying it's a mistake of the audience. I think because BMF gets compared to Power a lot, that people expected a Power finale. If this is your the 4th season, you watch every episode of BMF, this kind of fits in line with a lot of their finales. Their finales aren't really explosive. They're ending. Yeah. And we joked about it before, how it seems like every season they just end a bunch of storylines and then they go to the next season.
Yeah, they sort of wipe the payroll
clean. Yeah. And to me, this feels like that in a way, where you kind of wiped a bunch of storylines closed, but then you left open exactly what would be potentially a 5th season. So I wasn't underwhelmed, because at this point I expect this from BMF. I'm not expecting a big explosive finale. This ain't Tariq killing ghosts or Tariq saving Diana and then doing all. None of that happens in the BMF universe. This fits in line with their finales of just finality of certain storylines that need to be closed out, and then we see the progression of what the characters can look like moving forward, including T in that ridiculous fat suit.
Yeah. You ain't have no problem with his hair, his hot top.
Look here,
because
I have decided to leave BMF alone with hair a long time ago. Because how did Meech's braids get shoulder length? As I saw last episode, he had a little bush. I decided to leave that alone. It ain't for me to figure it out.
Yeah, man, he got that. He must got that. What did it say back in the day? He must got that foreign shit. He grew cornrows and
whatever.
But hey, when we were younger, people used to lie about that all the time. Like, man, I can get cornrows in 3 months, and nigga hair. That nigga ain't giving you
exactly. like people still being fooled that Lauryn Hill had dreadlocks when them was sister locks or something of that nature. Like, you can be fooled now.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know how I feel about the finale itself. I definitely will throw it back to you first before I talk about the season overall. But I will say that while there has not been any official news about the renewal over season 5, at least I don't think so. And there also hasn't been news in either direction, whether it was canceled or whether it's going to be season 5, which I would imagine optimistically there will be a season 5, because if there was a cancellation, we definitely would have heard of that.
Definitely.
But I gotta say, series finale. Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. If this had been the season finale, I'm not gonna say I'll be okay, because clearly I want to get to the part where I definitely want to see Leslie Jones' character return, and I really want to see her presence on the show, like more than just a cameo at this rate. But also I want to kind of see when they do become adults and see some of that as well. But I gotta say they kind of shot this one this season as if like maybe we might want to near it towards the ending, just in case we are, because a lot of the moments, especially the Lucille sitting at the table, reflecting back in those callback scenes and moments, definitely is a recipe for like, we're getting ready to wrap this. It's interesting though, because that sort of measure of reflection she had is very much, and I know y'all gonna be like, what the, but it's very much telling of Carrie and just like that in that last moment where she kind of sat back and was like, you know, I'm not alone per se. I'm just what was the saying? It wasn't I'm not alone, I'm just not by myself or something like that.
There you go. I'm not lonely.
I'm not lonely.
I'm just by myself.
Yes, yeah. There we go.
The self-reflection of loving yourself.
Yeah.
This is nothing like that.
No. It's not the same message per se. Yeah, but it definitely was one of those ones where we see Lucille like everything that has happened in this house, all those moments, those iconic moments and whatnot, all the things that she wanted, all things she might have been trying to achieve and prevent it, whatever it may be. It just kind of felt like they was putting a tie on like, hey, if this is it, this is where we're leaving her at. You know, here's the moments that kind of got to this point, the goods, the bads, and all that other stuff. And it was like another moment that kind of felt very much like they were kind of tying a bow on things. But yeah, I mean, it felt like one of those like very safe, like we're not done, but if we were done, there may be measures of giving some measure of satisfaction as to, you know, some storylines ending.
Yeah.
So really quickly, let me read a few comments real quick. So we got Vincent Govan coming in, love and support y'all. And then Jody Brown checking in. Hello, all. Hey, if y'all are watching us live, don't be shy. Get in the comments. Let you all be a part of our conversation tonight. And anybody feeling generous with the super chats, best believe we will prioritize that. Dive a little bit deeper into whatever your question, your comments may be. And we're gonna have fun tonight. Go for it. You had a comment.
Yeah. The weird part is for that scene with Lucille, I got a different perspective of it. It wasn't closing out that character. It was closing out the mentality that she had. Remember, she was always stuck up like, hey, I'm not supporting what they do. I'm not doing it. The moment she grabbed that fur coat, it told me now we're transitioning to the mom that we know now. And that was the one who was way more accepting and understanding, like, this is what my boys did. Like, it's no shame any longer in the point that my boys make money off of selling drugs. And we saw the guilt that Lucille always had. That fur coat was like, fuck that guilt.
Hey, yo, what is it with fur coats in the black community?
Hey, because back in the day,
he put that shit on.
I am still waiting to buy my chinchilla. And when I buy it, I'm gonna wear it. I don't give for no
word on the street is that my family's ones is still in what they call them, not the cleaners, but the people that preserve them. You got to put them in a special place, for over time. Yeah.
Look,
there might be a couple of them joints need to be cleaned.
Because I will never forget at my cousin's wedding, my mom came out in a full-length black. I went, oh, you take it stunting to a whole nother level.
I ain't gonna lie, if I could wear one of them joints, I would show up just to get a reaction.
I ain't even gonna lie to people. Every day I wear that joint in the summer. Like I know
they feel good on the inside. If no one's ever put one on, whatever that material on the inside is, like polyester or something, it feel good as a mug.
Hey, I know he ain't the person to bring up now, but I always wanted to wear a fur coat the way Diddy wore that fur coat in the Hate Me Now video with Nas. Like that. That is the picture. or chinchilla, whatever that coat. That's how I would want to wear the jump. But I think that's the thing here. I think it was a transitional moment for Lucille. But I have a bigger question. I wonder how many people would feel, an audience, you can answer this, and you can answer this too. How would you have a different perspective of this episode if everything with 50 wasn't going on? Of him presenting it like this?
I'm not even, so for me, it's definitely not at all a distraction from the show. Not the beginning, not the end, not the entirety of the season. None of that is an effect on the show, because the one thing about 50 Cent that we have to always give respect to is any type of publicity is good publicity.
It's good publicity, yes.
And I don't know what the numbers and the ratings of the show have been. it seemed to have been very consistent in viewership because the same, at least for our core audience and at least for the people I follow behind it, no one sort of dropped off. Not in a way like Force did, where you definitely felt that. Which I hope Force, which is returning in November, comes back strong. And also, I will be honest and remember that Force also was hit by the strike. So that also helped as well too. Hurt as well too. So they wasn't able to like fully promote the show that they wanted to. So like Force just never really had a lot of good luck getting out the gates, even with Joseph being you know, the wonderful person he is. But I don't think the 50 stuff at all does nothing but adds commentary to folks without the logic, and the realism is that he's not going to control if this show goes forward or not. But his attention is, as again, any type of promotion you want to give it is good, and I definitely see that to be working. But I do think I was about to make this comment too, and I was about to go Google it real quick, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. But if I'm not mistaken, if the real Lucille or maybe the real Nicole, but we've seen them a couple of times. I almost be thinking, did one of them show up with a fur coat?
Yeah, she did. Yes, she did. I want to say it was Miss Lucille showed up at the season 2 premiere at BMF. She had on a fur coat. Yeah. Which is dope. Like, again, that's what I meant by, I think this was just a coming of age of Lucille, of her fully accepting who her boys were.
Yeah.
I mean, down to walking out to church, you know, they gave her the music when she walked out to church. Like, all of that was a transition. So when she sits at the table, all her kids are gone. Everyone's gone. So I think now she's focusing on just her.
Yeah. Not that this really matters, but in the previous season, it was really made out for Charles to kind of look like the bad guy in the family.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Lucille, the character, through this season, and ultimately being labeled as a good person, a bad person, or just a human? I think is a safe way to go about it.
$3,000 from her daughter. I wouldn't. You can't be a good person to do that. Mike, I think that's what made her come back down a little bit. They had put her on a huge pedestal, and that's what made Charles look like the worst person in the world. And I think this season was to show like she had her own flaws and everything, and all of that now comes out. And I think it just brought her back down to the same level as Charles. Granted, she ain't like raw dog somebody in the kitchen like Charles did, but like between stealing the money on welfare, the way she walked out of that church, like all of it was to bring Miss Lucille back to, she's just like everyone else. She made her mistakes. And again, we know the story. We know how this works. We know what happened with them as BMF progressed. Like there's no what you would consider completely innocent people involved here.
Yeah. It's weird, and maybe not also the best analogy, but America does have this fixation on, we'll just say, bad people being glorified in good ways. And I'm not looking at the parents in any part because I'm going to respect them. But Big Meech is an icon. And we can also go to, we could just name all the names at this rate, but Frank Lucas, if he was out for more time than he was in, he probably would have been on that pedestal of an icon. But people also recognizes him for what he's done, and it's definitely never with a negative stigma to it. You can also go to Freeway, and not the rapper, but Freeway. Or
Rick Ross, Snowfall, as you can call them. Which name do you want to give them?
And for folks, it's Franklin for you all. Like people looked at that and said, like, yeah, I like that guy. You know what I mean?
You go even further, Alpo.
Yeah,
we know everything. We know the full story. We know how he got everything else that came along with him. He was still looked at like as, oh man, that's somebody to look up to, which is crazy. But that's America. I'm not gonna say the world. America glorifies the bad.
Did I say that? Because I'm pretty sure I said America. But then, like, also too, like it goes down a deeper alley, a deeper, darker alley too. Because you start looking at I don't even want to say the word, but you start looking at, those folks like the Ted Bundys of the world and whatnot. You're like, how are these people like glorified? How are they getting married in jail? Like, what is happening right now?
God. Jeffrey Dahmer has had 5 different series written or shown about his life, and people were like entranced on watching Dahmer as he was just murdering people. We are obsessed with true crime stories, and I think it's because a lot of people in this country, we love the story of the fall. Like, it's very rare that we glorify people who got away with it. We love the story of the fall, though.
So,
and that's in any form of life. It doesn't matter. I mean, we go to hip hop for that example and say some of our biggest rappers were drug dealers. They don't even mention that Jay-Z sold drugs anymore. They mention everything else but that. But we know what he came from, and we know the circumstances that these people build, the Jeezys and all this stuff, and we get to see them progress. But it's amazingly weird. When they progress, we kind of lose respect for them.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm gonna go back to the show in a minute, but I always look at somebody like Floyd Mayweather, who arguably is one of the best boxers in the world. People just constantly looking for his downfall, which is a part of his celebrity because everybody hate how he lives his life, but he doesn't get into trouble.
50 don't help that either.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But anyway, so while there was an idea of this feeling rushed, did you feel like that this season at all was underdeveloped?
No, because I think everybody's waiting for the BMF story that they remember.
Oh yeah,
we're getting itchy. The Big Meech bring the Tigers in and all that.
Yeah, we're getting the BMF entertainment. We all waiting for Jeezy now. All eyes are set for Jeezy.
That's what everybody's been waiting for. I think it was an amazing creative thing to slow walk this the way they did and to build up these characters throughout the season. Now, if you want to complain the acting ain't the best at times, okay, cool. If you want to complain like some of the storylines just didn't seem as clear, okay, cool. I don't think this is rushed at all, though. Through 10 episodes, they literally built out exactly where the brothers' relationship strained to the point where we know that they were apart from each other running the same operation.
Yeah.
And they laid the groundwork enough where that should really help out a lot. And I think that's the most important part.
Yeah. And last question before we start getting to the Venom things. How did you feel now that we got the complete story about Mexico, what happened in Mexico, and how that sort of implemented, the relationship between the brothers, which in fact, to really talk about the relationship between the brothers is because there had been themes of like betrayal and loyalty throughout the entire season. And that's just, between the brothers and all the folks that they had around them. Do you think, and how do you sort of reflect into how this styling of storytelling, starting every episode with Mexico, even with this one having the conclusion of Mexico, in the heat of the moment between the conversation between the two brothers, to conclude what had ultimately happened, because that was the biggest thing. It's like what happened in Mexico.
What happened in Mexico?
Yeah. So to wrap that all up, were you sort of satisfied about what happened in Mexico, and how do you feel about the themes that it played into everything?
At first, it felt like it was unnecessary that we constantly went back to Mexico. As we got closer to that ending, I love the way it was weaved into their relationship. Like, it showed the separation that you needed to see, and you needed to pinpoint place where it happened. That also, them going to Mexico is not a falsehood. We don't know the exact story. They went to Mexico, and the point that they show it this way of them being that separation to see that Meech had developed more trust for Loco than he did his own brother, and to see it from a different perspective. I think that was the most important part of it. Meech sees it as T abandoning him, but it was way more of T abandoning Loco and wanting his brother and him to get out of there. And we get to see the duality of that decision of T, like, man, all I thought about was getting back to my children. Meech worried about Loco. He's not worried about anything else. because of that relationship. The whole goal of this season is you needed to understand why the brothers ran two separate operations of the same organization. And Mexico, in the end, does a great job of separating them two and making it more realistic. Why? Because now we get to see Meech's mindset. We get to see Terry's mindset. Terry, we always questioned, I think, from season 1 and then a doc that we watched, and we said the same thing, like, man, Terry seems to be the one that was all about the business. It's all he was about. Meech was about the brand. Meech was about being larger than life. You got to see the Mexico trip is the reason why. When he said, man, the little shaman told me I'm gonna be the Pablo Escobar, the black. It makes sense now why Meech needed to be bigger than life, why the billboards were up, why he did everything that he did. And then it also explains why Terry operated the way he does, because he was always about business. And you needed to show that. And I think Mexico was just a creative way of showing the separation and what happened there. And I think that by the time you get to the end of it, the Mexico storyline makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Now, once again, before we get into everything with the events and just giving everybody time to roll in tonight, if you are joining us live, hit us up in the live chat, be a part of the discussion with us. As I mentioned, we will certainly prioritize super chats and dive deeper into your comment, your reaction, question, thoughts, etc. So I was just breezing the good old interwebs, and I saw this post from _real_B Mickey. And the caption of his selfie said, "Still living life, I'm God's child." Then he posted another thing that said, "RIH, rest in heaven, laughing face, B Mickey," with a side-by-side picture of him and mouse to it, B Mickey, and says, "Now you know they lied. Lawsuit coming, bullseye." So whether this is the first time you've heard this or not, what is your thoughts about the real B Mickey jumping in there with his comments and his reaction to the finale, and, well, one may say him dying in the story that and series that starts off every episode by giving a very nice disclaimer
that this is not based. Come on, bro. Like, it's. I love it when people watch this show like this is 100% reality,
or any show at this rate,
or any show, movie, anything you watch with real people and you think it's 100%.
Yeah,
some stuff is need for dramatic storytelling.
Most stuff.
Matter of fact, all of it. Because if I told you the real story 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be that interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need that. But the point that he said, lawsuit coming, where?
He used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 exclamation points behind that. So I think it's quite. I think you can say he's serious here.
This is what happens when you feel that your name should be out there more, and what you did. That's what this is. Like, some folks just want credit for what they did, and they want credit for like what they help establish, and that may be true, but no, it's not the way this operates. Not in storytelling land. Like, they can't tell the full truth at all. You think they're telling the truth that Meech has killed multiple people? Or that Terry's killed multiple? No, that's not the purpose of this here. The purpose of here is just to gain a story. And some folks want attention. I'm only interested in hearing from one person. One. And that's Blue. Don't care about nobody else.
He already said don't play. He already gave
Blue already said
don't play in my name.
Yeah, exactly. But that would be
listen, they're already moved past that. They're already done. The whole Blue Da Vinci part is Purdy is done.
Well, hold up now. BMF Entertainment just started. And Blue was the first artist of BMF Entertainment.
Nah. We talked about that before. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure I looked it up afterwards too, that he was the first. So unless, I mean, I don't know. And again, this is why you can't hold too much to actual events, because when they did Bulletproof Records, I think is what it was, where they had Purdy, there was an iteration of Bulletproof Entertainment, and that doesn't look like that's happening. So there was 2 measures of Bulletproof.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they're going to hybrid that into the BMF Entertainment thing or not. But I listen, we don't need Blue Da Vinci. It's no one's looking for him. And I also think for the response that they know they're going to get from him. And I'm talking about like the folks like Heather that's running the show in place of
Blue ain't playing no games with them, Joe.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, again, like there's no reason to even touch it. Like no one's asking for that story. Now Jeezy's a whole different thing, which he's going to probably be willing to play ball. If you had 2 chains in it and whatnot, you could imagine that Jeezy wouldn't mind.
You never know. Jeezy's profile is so far removed from that lifestyle. Jeezy may be like,
Nah, I mean, but again, even if you didn't, you have way more of a wide range of some type of proxy character to focus on him. No one needs Blue. No one wants Blue. No. And the moment you do it, it's just going to be somebody that's going to hit 10 podcasts for no reason.
No, I only bought a Blue because I don't want to hear from the real B Mickey. If I heard from anybody, it would be Blue.
Don't worry. I wasn't even done going down the list because there's some other folks talking as well too. The Marquisha's real counterpart has also been out there saying something. And also, just for anybody who doesn't know, the character Lamar, who died officially, because I was worried because he did say he had 9 lives, and I thought they'll just bring his Grim Reaper ass back again. But he definitely died because you saw his pictures of the folks that died. So that's the confirmation. But he's also alive too. So don't worry. He hasn't said anything yet, but he might get out there and be like, oh man, they killed me. How they gonna kill me? I'm not even dead. So I guess you can't stop the rain. But
everybody wants their name mentioned.
Oh, for sure.
Something big. Everybody wants their name mentioned. Everybody wants credit for something. Everybody wants to get a Vlad interview. I understand that's what y'all doing this for, is to get a Vlad interview. Vlad will give anybody an interview at this point. He don't care. He's not looking for the truth. He's looking for clicks. So if you're looking to get a Vlad interview, that's perfectly fine. But the try to blame the storytelling that they killed your character, all this other stuff, because you're still alive, no one cares. No one cares. Yeah. The only people they care about alive is Terry, Meech, and Blue. Nobody else. And that's just because those are the names. Those are the names that, and Jeezy, those are the names that's synonymous to a lot of people who didn't grow up around BMF, but they know of BMF.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you think Nelly mad he ain't getting no love yet?
Well, I mean, Nelly, and we ain't in a time period where Nelly would have been in that vicinity. I mean, because once you get the Nellies, you're getting a Puff, you're getting a Jay, you're getting a lot of people. But that was in the mid 2000s. Like, I bring up Blue because, and him being BMF Entertainment, Blue album didn't come out to like 07. He was part of BMF Entertainment. So it's like,
did you look that up?
No, I'm assuming it was.
I don't care. I'm not even about to look that up. I don't care.
I don't have the time to care.
But you be 100%.
I'm only guessing that is because of the time that I know of Jeezy coming out, and that time frame. Like, I know Jeezy's time frame for sure, and that's what makes me think is around that time frame. But then that's the biggest part of BMF that everybody remembers is that time frame. So that's what we're rushing to get to. Like, this is supposed to be what, 98, 99 by the time we end this season that we're at.
Okay.
Because she's now pregnant with little Meech, because it's not the daughter, because the daughter would have been born by now. Or we actually know a daughter was born already because we saw her earlier on. So yeah, like, I think that's the key part. Everybody's waiting to get to the big stuff of BMF. And some people just felt that they slow walked it, and I think some people could feel this rush because we jumped a lot of years in this season.
Yeah.
But you can't keep on slow walking it, because then this shit would last 10 years before we got to what you really want to see. We've been waiting for Terry to get fat for a while now.
You got it. Here you go.
You got it now.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on, because we are already 30 minutes in, and we haven't got to go over some of the events. That episode, so I'm gonna go run them down, and then big we'll stop and focus on. So we obviously start off with Mexico for the last time. For the last episode, for the last time, we starting off the episode in Mexico, where we got the fist chasing after them with the shootout, and we see the whole thing about them trying to get to the helicopter. They get in a car crash. Loco's hurt, and while Loco's hurt trying to get to cover, Meech is giving him some cover fire. Terry basically says, like, man, save some bullets for me. And then he dumps the whole clip, and Terry's like, what you doing? And when you see Loco running off, Loco gets shot. Meech runs after him, and you get the whole narration about how Meech was willing to die for the plug, but Terry was not. Then we get to Atlanta, and Hoop is there, and they letting Hoop know that they think B. Mickey and Bryant are working together. Now, not only that, but they also let them know that they got a new plug, and the plug ain't letting anything come in town until they get everything cleaned up. I thought it was interesting that Hoop asked about what's up with Loco, and he says, yeah, it doesn't matter, but they got new drivers, new stash houses. Tina and what's his name put this together, which, by the way, probably not, and maybe we will talk a little bit about Tina, but definitely seems like Tina is going to be shaping up to be a big character for next season, which is cool because kind of been around for a lot, giving little small things. Was one of the plugs when they first got down to Atlanta, but wasn't really expecting this character to end up being as important as the character will be. And now I think there's a no-brainer she's about to stand 10 toes down when all this legal stuff come next season. But nonetheless, they put up this plan where they're gonna get Hoop to hit up B Mickey to see where he's standing on everything. So they're gonna call him, tell him they need him down in the D. Because they really need his help. But then Meech comes at Hoop about the whole thing about when they let B Mickey in, but T stepped in to shut that down, let him know that Hoop is always going to be his right-hand man. He ain't nothing to worry about. Then Markeisha called about being in a car accident, letting her know that Boom did it, and she's just some whiny. All right, I'm just going to skip what I really want to say. But I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think Markeisha was gonna live here. I thought she was gonna die. I really thought they were gonna write her off. Yeah, and but I guess not. But anyway, Hoop and T want to know, do they think that Meech can never trust them again? But he says, man, as soon as he get this shit on lockdown here, they're going his own separate ways for good. We get the Red Dolls and Bryant. They're looking for B Mickey. They had eyes on the hotel, but there's been no activity. And he lets the task force, or this is not the task force. Well, this is the Red Dolls, not the joint task force, but it is a task force. But he's letting their task force, the Red Dolls, know. Y'all see eyes on him. Y'all let him know first. He gets the call first. Now we get Lucille with baby Demetrius, not to be confused as Lil Meech, where Nicole was getting her stuff ready to go, packing because she's getting out. She's moving out. Charles put the crib together, and while Lucille had concerns about Breeze and her being together, she laid out her whole plan. She's on Session 8. Breeze got a job at the Pepsi plant. They still got college in sight. He's going to get back to football next season. Questionable because we know what happens later on in the episode. But with all this is happening, Lucille's definitely getting cold feet because there's so many changes around her, including her possibly not going to be the pastor no more. And Charles being positively optimistic, I guess you can say that, or just giving her positive vibes of saying it's all going to work out the way it should. And it's interesting because for 9 episodes, Lucille was trying to kick this man out, busting his balls, and she is confining in him at the times. And this is, man, I'm gonna also hold my comment there too.
No. I'm gonna need you to say that one because that's true. That's how women are. You can say that's how women are. The whole time she wanted Charles gone. Every which way she wanted Charles gone, but all of a sudden now you can't live without him. You see how that works?
Hold my peace there for sure. So now B Mickey gets the call from Hoop, asking where he's at, but telling him he needs to get to Atlanta right now. B Mickey, this should have automatically made things hot. B Mickey's like, what's in it for me? Knowing that you work for them, you don't get to ask questions like that. But he says money, man. What you mean? But after that, he tried to call his wife, who doesn't pick up. It goes straight to the voice machine again. Now we see Lamar, Aisha, and baby V, and they stop at a gas station to use the bathroom. They try to escape, but Lamar catches them, and basically escorts them, especially women, hand ties to the bathroom to get done, so they can use it and whatnot.
Because nobody's asked questions back then of how the lady with her hands tied are going to the bathroom, even if they're with you.
Yeah.
Still
Also,
question.
I also feel like the
And
gas station is the place that everybody just minds their business and everything goes down there. All the surveillance footage, everything that could go bad happens there. No one ever gives an eyewitness account. It's always the footage that they get later on and like, and this person made this stop. Somebody came in at 2:00 in the morning with blood on their hands, asking for some rope and a knife, but I sold it to him, but no problem, But yeah, it just checks out. It seems like the gas station is back there was just a place that
it's the mind your business station.
Yeah, it's the mind your business station.
I don't want no problems, bro.
Yeah,
I'm here to get gas.
Yeah, that's
I don't
it.
give a fuck.
Get some
How many
smokes?
bodies you got in the trunk of your car?
And I'm out. You're right. I mean, how many people get abducted at these rest stops and whatnot? And no one ever stops it when it happens. There's always like I did see them here. He's like,
because folks be minding their business. They be like, Because what happened if I try to stop and then he shoot me?
Yeah,
or he kidnapped me too. I want to be kidnapped with you.
I hate to say it, life was probably more peaceful back then when people minded their business. Oh man, I was about to say something too. What was I about to say? I was about to say something about that situation. Oh. So I think it also is important, maybe not to spend too much time, but at this rate here, we definitely know that Aisha did not trust Lamar. She tried to escape. It's interesting to see later on this episode. We'll wait till we get there.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that because what
questions?
Hey,
but then again, you know what? Let me hold my peace, man. All right,
women be women, then that's what women be women. And I'm telling you.
so now we back in ATL with Meech and Ashley, and he's just talking about the Black Pablo Escobar prophecy that he had, and he's gonna be a legend. We at the hospital now where Marquisha's in the hospital, gonna be there for a little while, but LaWanda comes in. Of course, they're arguing over tea. They're throwing blows at each other. I know y'all probably want us to say some of the stuff like Marquisha says, I got his mind in his dick, and she says LaWanda claps back and says, well, I got his blood. And then they hit a stalemate and it says, yeah, I'm tired of fighting. You know what? I guess we got to tolerate each other and make this happen. So truce between the ladies, I guess.
All we're going to talk about is just how much of a G T has to be that you send your baby mama to check on your girl at the hospital.
Hey,
the woman who you cheated on your baby mama with. Now go up there and make sure she all right. What?
Hey, let me tell you the story they didn't tell you here. LaWanda was ready to risk it all. She's like, I'm about to end this bitch right now. I'm gonna go in there like it's all good.
Hey, I was just waiting for the little pillow in her hand.
Yep. Could you? All right, real talk. If that had been an angle here and that had happened, and she killed his, how do you, man? That's the action y'all wanted for the finale, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they need. They need. I told you, it's the comparing BMF to Power. They need those dynamics in there. So you need LaWanda to grab the pillow and smother Marquisha while she slept. And then say, he's mine now, bitch. And leave out. That's what you need. That's
yeah.
You even needed that, or you needed the other little dude that Nicole was sleeping with to come on and say, no, that's my baby.
Yeah.
And then you need to
Hey, what's his name? I forgot to look his name back up. But we'll get there in a minute too. That's funny. You're right. That's definitely another one of those moments. So now we get B Mickey and Hoop, and they meet together. And this was a great scene too, just because it really heightened all the stakes of everything. Mm-hmm. But this is Hoop giving B Mickey what appeared to have been all the details.
Yeah,
very much a lot of it fabricated. But also mentioning some of the important details within this to really get to win B Mickey over in terms of like the lie. They tell him like, Meech got bagged. And then he also says like, T hasn't been making all bad moves since he's been down here. Mm-hmm. And then B Mickey just shifts the whole thing and comes out very bluntly like, man, let's take over BMF. All we got to do is take out T and that's it. But then I love, and like, you really do got to give a lot of respect for Hoop and also the actor that plays Hoop. I want to look up his name because I definitely follow him. So I'm gonna make sure I go look this up right now. Who's also from my hometown in Patterson, New Jersey. But Tyson Freeman, right? This has been a character and somebody who's really been at times a lot of really a supporting character in ways. But when he gets his moments, he makes them shine. I really gotta say, I was really compelled by his story of getting B. Mickey to believe that everything he was saying was true, even to the point, and this also goes to the writers as well, that they had the details in terms of like, wait a minute. So how do I know I can trust you? And then to even run that story into like, well, yeah, because T did tell me something crazy, and he said that you were working with Brian.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, he putting this together. You know what I mean? But
he got the best line of the episode. Best line of the episode.
Which one?
Oh shit, the Terma nigga here.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about something right. Oh yeah. We'll get there.
That's the best line of the episode, Joe.
Yeah. But and then again he says, all right, well, we're gonna take over this, and we're gonna meet at Thomas Square tomorrow, 8:00. And then also with that too, I also like the fact that like Miles was able to give us that sort of like with that little smirk that he had, that he looked happy. That's the bit of satisfaction that like you really believe that this setup was really going to go down the way it did. And I just thought the two of them really executed. We know what Miles can do. We see Miles all the time. But him and Tyshawn, they put this scene together for sure. And then Hoop immediately goes back to Meech and T and let them know all the details and whatnot. Even to the point that he said that B. Mickey also admitted that he took out last to get back at you, Meech, for all the shit that he'd been through. And Meech, I love the fact that he went right back to T and said, see, you should have never let him back in. This dynamic between the brothers, the bickering back and forth, the pointing and accusing each other every episode has been very consistent and very good.
Hold up. I just want to say this because this is what makes this scene so damn funny to me. After Hoop comes back and says that, and he's like, see, this is why you should have let B. Mickey back in. He did all this. Are we leaving at the point that Laz was snitching? Laz had turned on Meech and gave up all the stash houses. He blamed T for bringing B. Mickey back. Yet, because B. Mickey came back, he was only involved in people who was turning against Meech anyway. When we talk about it, you see what happened in St. Louis? Yes, Jay Pusher was trying to move you out the way. All of this was happening beforehand. But again, it just shows the closed-mindedness of Meech because of his feeling towards Terry because of what happened in Mexico. That he's not even seeing the bigger picture of everything.
Yeah. You know what? They should have brought Kelly Hugh back. Give her 9 lives.
Hey, maybe next season. You never know.
We do have to go to Cali, don't we?
Yeah. Maybe next season that we get her.
Oh, you're right. And they're not shy of giving people a season off.
Hey, especially if a character like that, if she moved away.
Yeah.
Because remember, she was in Detroit. She moved away.
She moved to Cali. She specifically moved to Cali. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh.
And we know where everything takes place at. The big reveal of everything takes place in Cali.
Yeah. Well, half of it goes to Cali.
Well, clearly a part of it's always going to be.
And honestly, man, for now on and forever much more BMF we have, we may not see the brothers together for a while, a long time. And I think
if it's realistic to the plot, they're not supposed to be.
Except for maybe Vegas.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
They should be running two completely separate operations at this point.
Bring Detective Jen back. Personal wish, by the way. So next. So after that, they said, we're going to set it out. We're set for tomorrow night. We're going to end this all for good. B. Mickey now gets a call, and it happens to be his wife. And while she's trying to slightly give him details, Lamar takes the phone and says, I got your bitch and your baby. And while he's trying to get B. Mickey to beat up so that he can end this, B. Mickey rebuttals and says, I got something better for you. And Lamar does not want T, but he says, nah, I got Meech. and we can finish where we started. And well, Lamar seems convinced about that and says, give me the address. He's not going to give over the family until he gets that first. Now the Red Dogs, now they get the report about being able to, from the hotel manager or whoever, report some strange activity in a room, as well as the hearse that sends them over into that direction. Lamar now in the hotel is really reflecting on his story about baby Zoe and how she started talking to him after
her mom died. He leaves out how her mom died, but
yeah, he did, because no one's being very honest about everything in full. But let me finish going through this. I'm gonna ask you what you think. But after that, though, Aisha says, like, listen, man, like, hurting somebody else's family isn't the answer. And he responds back and says, I would never hurt you and Zoe. And then she says, I know you wouldn't. You're a good man. First and foremost, is she being honest here, or is this a measure of survival?
That was supposed to be a measure of survival. Boy, she turned it into something else. But it was supposed to be a measure of survival.
Yeah. I went back to think about that moment. I was like, this is questionable. In the beginning, 100% survival. So the first time she tried to get out the hearse, survival. This, survival. But I don't know, because
he tells her one thing and she turns into a completely different person.
No, well, I'll be honest. She said two things, and I think that sealed the deal. But there was definitely one after the set. It was the 1-2 punch that I think sealed the deal. But just to go over it. But he says, like, listen, I lost Mo and Zoe because of Meech. And then she says, well, Bryant lost everything because of Meech too, which was interesting because I'm pretty sure she was the one who said, do not let revenge consume you. We have everything we need now. We need to move on, which to me, this response makes more sense as to why B. Mickey got to Atlanta, because if she had stuck to her guns and saying, hey, revenge isn't the way to go. You don't need to go nowhere. Stay here. I know what you're going to do. Instead of this, like, well, he also lost everything too, which seems to be more of the acknowledgement that she agrees with his revenge. So she set him free to go to Atlanta and go do what he's doing.
Yeah.
I am super confused about her.
By the end of this episode, we all are.
Yeah.
Shit, we all are confused about her.
But for the 1-2 punch right here, she says, well, wait a minute. Did he tell you the truth about how he killed Kato? And she was just completely shocked, yet flabbergasted here. And then only to find out that Lamar found out that she was pregnant. Lamar gave the most lackluster response to that. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. But also to say that he's been lying this entire time. And then he says, you know what? He's the real monster, not me, your baby daddy. And then he says, that's why they both got to pay for what they did. And then we can be one happy family. Now, Lamar responses to this is completely on par for who he is.
That's the sickest nigga in the world.
But listen, did she buy that? And I'm willing to say yes. I am willing to say yes.
There's no yes about it. We saw the way this episode. I literally after what she did there. Oh my goodness. I don't want to talk about it until we get to the point of that scene of what she does. And I get to put my leather vest on from Waiting to Exhale and be like, you raggedy bitch. Because that made no fucking sense. What she did there, Joe.
Did she look like Ghost when he was over Angie when Tommy killed her? B. Mickey's like, what you crying for? That shit threw me. I was so dead. I had to watch it again. I was like, wait, was that B. Mickey that said what you crying for? It would have been even funnier. It would have been even funnier even funnier if it was somebody like Meech that would have said that. Like, yo, what are you crying for?
This nigga kidnapped her, tied her, drove her in a hearse.
10 hours, because we clocked
10 hours. He tells her, by the way, your husband, the father of your child, killed Kato. No explanation on what happened, and you fall for him because he wants to take B. Mickey's child, make it his replacement for Zoe, so y'all could be happy ever after.
That's right. You know, because Lamar, the one thing I can agree with what he said was they're gonna be family. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what Dominic Toretto would have said. So I believe him, and I believe she fell for it too. She heard the magic word.
Oh my God,
she was all for it.
She is the worst woman in the BMF. Like she superseded everybody at this point. The way she turned on him that fast, all the love went away for her husband that fast.
Yeah.
That is insane, Joe.
I've never seen. Yeah. Moving on. So now Meech. So we back with Meech back at the home. Hoop see him rolling the J, and he's like, "Where'd you learn that from?" He said, "From the new plug." And then he started to get to apologizing about B Mickey, but he also said, you know, he just wanted them to know that he's loyal to both of them for life. But Meech says, like, listen, shit changed for him and T since Mexico, and he's really been fucking up since. And then Meech is basically, then Hoop is basically like, man, I hope y'all can come together because, like, you know, it's affecting everything around them.
Yeah.
Which is a true statement because as you see, he questioned Hoop's loyalty, who's never been in question because he was loyal to T,
your brother, who he left him with.
So, but you know what's interesting? That it was never a question when everybody was loyal or even respected Meech as the lead in command when he would come back to the D, even though they was loyal to him all the way. So, it's interesting that he questions Hoop here. Well, he didn't question the ones that were around him that was legitimately being dirty. So now he's just on high alert, I guess, right? Just lost all his common sense about the ones who's really loyal and calling the people that wasn't family. Last was family, and he was going to pay for the funeral.
Biker boy vision, nothing on the side, everything straight ahead.
Yeah,
and that's the way he sees things right now. Is everything is straight ahead. So Hoop is loyal to T, even though you left with T, so that's your now. Is everything is straight ahead.
And nigga,
is loyal to T.
And I just hear you double down it. Lucky it's not music, and it gets that. I find it funny that she used Biker Boy vision, and I usually say like horse blinders, where like they got the little thing, and that's what I see. But yeah, same thing.
It's more weird that he turned on Hoop. He left Hoop with T for this purpose to help move the business forward, and then you question him, but you don't have the same. Meech never has the questions for the people that he brings in his circle. It's only T's circle that's the issue, man. And that it shows from when we get to the part of Mexico, we see why Meech feels this way.
Yeah. All right, so now Markeisha, she is happy that T sent her flowers and said the doctor said she could go home in a week. And she also mentions about her and Lawanda being admirable with one another, but he lets her know that they're going to move to Cali. They're going to move to business there. And he also plans on retiring while she's thinking she's going to expand the business, but that's not his plans. But while there may have been no doubt about this, Markeisha makes it very clear that she wants to keep up with the Joneses. That includes everybody in Hollywood and everybody else in the game because that is important to her. And so he hopefully he knows exactly what he's inheriting with that with
Tasha.
her. Not really, because Tasha was not overzealous to have to contribute to the business. She was very, and actually, I really look forward to Origins for that reason, because why there's so much emphasis on Ghost and Tommy story. Tasha, we also, and with Kanan and also with Breeze, we also have to say, as much as there's so much interest in Breeze, we have to say, when does Tasha get in there? Because she's a big part of how Ghost became who he is as an adult. And in the span of business. So I'm damn sure not going to give Markeisha that her flowers there.
I'm not saying it like I'm not even crediting it as a bad thing to me. Markeisha has a vision of what this business should be. That's why I said Tasha. She has a vision, and I think she's correct in her vision of what it should be. Like T is living a pipe dream. He wants to get his Queen Shots project off the ground, and he wants to leave the game alone. That's not the way this works, though. Like, I think that's
I'm not,
what the comparison with Tasha
I'm
comes
not,
into play.
I'm not agreeing with that analogy, but I will say if what I think you're saying to the Tasha analogy or comparison is Ghost wanted to get out the game, and Tasha's like, well, that's not happening because
that's
you
it.
are who you are.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, I was speaking more about Markeisha thinking that she was going to be some benefit to this match. No, be more of a liability. Quite frankly, I'm surprised she's still alive. And quite frankly, if she had died, T might have not had his shot hit up at the end of this episode because we know exactly who was behind that. Because it just would have been Ashes. Yeah. I mean, he tried to offer. So like that was it. He didn't try to off T. He tried to off her.
Well, he didn't really try to kill her because he ran to a car and he left her alive. If he wanted her dead, he could have shot her in the head right then and there. He just don't want her with T. He don't want her dead. He just don't want her with T.
Yeah. But anyway, we see now by the comment of Meech calling him Fat Boy that this is where the weight gain is being implied. But he said, let's get the strap and go. Brian gets the update about the hearse at Times Square, so he's on his way. Now we get to Times Square. B. Mickey's there looking for Hoop, only for the brothers to show up and show out, and says, and Meech, while he's telling B. Mickey, he about to off him, he basically said, like, what you don't already get is that I've already been dead ever since you kicked me out and you killed everybody I loved around me. Lamar gets in there shooting the Uzi. Also with everything, and I don't know, just too much to really get into detail here besides the fact that like everybody's being shot at everybody. No one's picking sides except for the brothers and Hoop are together. So while Lamar is shooting at them, shooting at B. Mickey shooting at them, everybody's taking shots at everybody. But while the first shot that is shot at that lands on Lamar, I think it came from T. But ultimately, the shots that killed him was about 5 or 6 shots that came from B. Mickey.
Yeah.
Then Bryant comes in, and when Bryant comes in, he does not see Meech and Terry there. They get out of there. But Lamar takes a shot at B. Mickey, and Bryant finishes him off with about 4 or 5 shots as well, too. And he also identifies Lamar Salas at that. And why you may think, is Lamar alive? Did he survive this as well too? It's pretty confirmed that him and B. Mickey are dead from this moment. But here's the scene we was talking about where all this happened. And when Lamar was shot, she runs over to Lamar, tells him, do not touch me. He told me you killed Kato. She instantly picks up that he was lying, and he didn't at all deny it. And he said, well, he did. B. Mickey, but did he say he killed his baby mom too? Baby mom. And then she says,
"Breeze right past that." Like,
because are you okay? You're not alone. Fuck you crying for. And then he puts the gun to her head and holds her hostage. And now you can quickly say, as quick as she made a change of heart, he also didn't have a problem with holding a gun to his wife's head.
You up here crying over a psychopath that's died. Talking about you are not alone. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. So then after that, the Flenory parents, they get the call about B. Mickey from Aisha. She says, like, I know y'all the only family. I got to move on with my life. Y'all can claim the rights to his body. And then
all her love left in a matter of 40 hours.
Yeah, for sure. What's that oh my god, I'm trying to think of a movie analogy, a vacation one. Oh my god, it's not. I want to say something like American Lampoon. Am I saying that right? National Lampoon.
Yeah.
Or Weekend in the Bernies. Yes, there we go.
I kind of thought it would be Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. That's where I was going at with this. Yeah. And then with that, Meech also gets the call as well too from his parents saying that B. Mickey was killed. They want to know if they had anything to do with it. They say they're not killers, which is true. They didn't kill him. They are killers. Well, Meech is killer, but Terry probably should have been the one that answered that call. But it's so funny because with that, Meech says, listen, we're going to take care of this. We're going to send them all, give him the proper send off he deserves. We're going to pay for the funeral, Meech, I mean, it's so funny because Meech wanted to pay for this funeral, wanted to pay for last funeral. Meech paid for everybody's funeral. Terry is not having it. Terry's just not having it. But anyway, he also says, listen, call Manuel. I got another way we can move the work, which we know is a very iconic tactic by the BMF folks, which I got a story to talk about 1 second. But anyway, to get to the funeral, which was cool. It looks like they licensed some DMX here with the slipping and falling, can't get up. Thought that was really dope here. Lucille's officiating. They're pouring out they're pouring out champagne over my guy's casket. And after that, we get the little moment of Lucille talking to Charles saying, I can't stay. I got to go back and meet with the elders to see what's going on. Charles says, well, I am staying. And this is where we get Lucille once again. Please don't leave me. I don't want to be alone. He says, nah, you get what you want. You want it by yourself. Here you go. And then he also, again, gives her some positive vibes and say, good luck, but I'm staying down here. And when Meech is leaving, he definitely sees Michael Myers in the back there, Detective Bryant. And this is where he says, like, listen, we're going to start hiding our stuff in plain sight. And this is where where we get to really see the implementation of the custom built limos, which by the story I was going to say, did you hear maybe like a year ago that there was the Hummer, the custom limo, the custom Hummer limo was sold a bunch of times. And apparently none of the owners was aware that there was $900K still left in it. But the cops was aware where they was like, oh, wait, we don't think we got the money out of that one. And they end up reclaiming it. So, yeah.
They stripped that motherfucker immediately, Jeff. Who had this?
How do you not immediately think? Guess what you don't know? You don't know.
Gotta be something left in here. If you got enough money to buy the BMF Hummer, I have enough to destroy it to make sure that it's nothing in there.
Yeah, let me
Ain't no way.
Yeah, so the Hummer was seized. I'm trying to get the date here because I know I saw this. I read this about like a year ago.
And then that means the only way they could have possibly seized it is because they're saying it's drug money.
Yeah, so it was seized. It says it was seized 4 years ago. It sold in an auction, sold several more times. But after agents learned that they missed something in the car, they tracked it down in August, and it was $875,000 in cash.
You know how many of those 6 previous owners are so mad that they didn't discover it? Because how did they get the code to get it out of there? We know how intricate them codes was to get out of there.
Yeah.
It had to be part of one of their plea agreements to tell them, like, hey, I can't do nothing with that money.
Hey, am I tripping? Did they already go over the limo thing in previous season, or was that Power?
They went over the car element of it, yes, in season 2. When they showed the code or how to get into from when Terry had the limo business with Charles.
Got it. Okay,
cool. And they showed the code to how to get into the cars.
Yeah. All right. So Lucille at the church with the elders. She just resigned because she felt disrespected. T now is mentioned that he's going back to the D. And this is basically where we get the argument between two of them because he says he's going back because he's done with his ass. And then that's where Meech says, I've been done with your ass since Mexico. And then we go back to Mexico where we see how everything played out. Yep. Now, Meech ran for Loco. He yelled out to T for help. T 40-yard dashed it to the helicopter. Now, granted, when he got to the helicopter, he told them to wait for his brother. They said nothing. They saw bullets and they got out. And while Loco body was being put into the back of the car, Meech was looking up like, damn, my brother left me. But this is when we get really this argument between the two brothers. And I think this is important because I think we can look at it on the outside and say who was right, who was wrong. But this is kind of how arguments work when you're not listening and you're just constantly, defending yourself and firing back. Yeah. But I could definitively feel that Terry was right in all of this.
1,000%. No one thinks Terry wasn't right.
I was not leaving you in Mexico. I was leaving Loco. I cared about my family. You've had all these people around you that you put over me, but I was the one that always held you down. And even to a point where he says Markeisha is my family because she's the only one left around, which isn't true because LaWanda's there. If he had won it, but nonetheless, he says Markeisha's the only one with that. And I guess Meech's whole approach with this was like, well, if you really had my back, you wouldn't have let B Mickey back in. I think that's it.
Again, like these other folks, Jay Pusher, like none of them exist to Meech. Is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and the point again, in the end, I ain't even going back to the part of Loco being loaded in the pickup truck. It was a part of Meech taking a shotgun and said, I'm giving cover to Loco. And T, like, if you give him cover, how am I going to get out of here?
Yeah, that's how it all started, you know. But yeah, with all of this though, he says, listen, I'm calling Manuel and saying, like, I'm taking everything, I'm handling everything in the D, you can handle everything in the A. He said, fuck that woman to the tune bullshit. And Meech, which his argument here is saying, I'm the face of this organization, you'll always be in my shadow. So
and that's the key part here.
Yeah. And well, beyond it being the key part of him trying to say something that he feels hurtful, it also shows you where his mentality was that's how he feels. And that's not only probably how he feels, but that's also how he wanted it to be.
Yep.
But then we get the 3-month time jump. Bryant and the Red Dogs got the new joint task force. We get the introduction of the DEA agent Mike Taylor, who's played by Michael Chiklis. So I don't know if I had heard he was going to be casted for this, but I've always been a big fan. It's crazy to think. Yeah. It's crazy to think that old Fantastic Four movie really had some like good talent in it.
Oh, the Commish. I said the Shield. The Commish was my shit back in the day.
Oh yeah, the Commish. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean when you said that. Yeah. I really look forward to seeing what his attitude brings alongside of Mr. Wood as Detective Bryant. I think that's going to be honestly, it's not even something I was really expecting, but I think that's going to be really interesting going forward to kind of see two of them
how that's going to go
next to each other. Because Steve, I'm saying Mr. Wood, I'm thinking of Wood Harris, but I meant to say Steve Harris as Detective Bryant. Yeah, Wood is his brother. So,
I want to say they were on a practice maybe together before. I want to say. I know Michael.
I would imagine they're both very extensive resumes that they've been together.
These are two great actors to have in these. This is why you got to say it's got to be a season 5. You don't introduce Michael Chiklis for the last episode of season 4.
You hope not.
I doubt
you hope not.
I strongly doubt it.
Yeah. But yeah, at the same time too, we get the pictures of, as he said, the dead homeboys in Wake. We get Laz, B, Mickey, and Lamar. So obviously all 3 of them confirmed. Lamar being the big one, that was probably of anybody's doubt here. But they disagreed that Big Meech is still on the board, so they have to work together. Now, Meech rolls up to the iconic house in Atlanta, the mansion that we all know about. And he basically got the motivation from being in Cali. It's him and his father the 2 of them giving each other their flowers. But also, as you mentioned about Lucille, I think this is where his father basically just acknowledges what his sons do and just down with the shits, which is important because if you know anything about the father and the father also getting involved in the arrest, the business, and ultimately the arrest, you have to know that, well, at some point he had to be in some measure of complacent and compliant with everything that's going on. So we'll see how he somehow, some ways gets into the real estate aspect of this in the series. But anyway, when that all happening, he casually drops that, T got some mansion in California. Lucille told me. And that did not sit right with Big Meech.
Immediately Meech is hating.
Yeah. So Meech calls him. He dismisses his dad to go check out the house and calls him and say, "Hey, little nigga, I heard you got a house out there. What you doing?" and T quickly shuts it down. So it's already been a done deal. Moving on, but we also see that he's also picked up the weight in this quick little glimpse of him as well there too. So yeah, he did not move to Detroit. He moved to Cali. So yeah. So now we see Boom and his crew basically declaring that they're not going to let Marquisha leave town with T.
He want to make sure she don't go to LA with T.
Yeah. Lucille in the house by herself reflecting. We already talked about all the flashbacks and whatnot, but also channeling that message from Pastor Coleman about the stars guide the way. She grabs the mink and they sort of merge like Venom and Spider-Man. And now she's the symbiote by that fur. And she instantly turns into the Black Spider-Man. And I honestly, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm a big fan of Miss McCall. So to kind of see her be on Demon Time going forward, I think could be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And now we go to the going away part where she shows up with the fur, instantly gets a compliment by Marquisha. That's if there was anybody that was supposed to get that compliment, it was her. Marquisha, but in this little scene, we do get a lot of little things. Number one, we get Breeze and Nicole. Breeze goes and see T, who clearly got him in the business now. But even with T not being there, and Hoop is going to be overseeing things, looks like he is also in line as a worker. Yeah. The thing to be made here is he's supposed to go back to college for football. We know how this is going to go. We know how this is always go. BMF, blowing money fast, because the moment he gets this money faster than he thought he was going to get in the NFL, he's not going to be looking that way. If you did not have any clue of what this story really is, or what I'm making of that, you can also go back to Jay Pusher and his brother in baseball, where we see how the influences can stir you away from your dreams. The also other thing is we get Nicole with whatever his name is that works for Worm. There we go. Thank you. Yeah. And when Worm, she said, "Don't worry, it's not my baby." He said, "Would it be so bad if it was?" She looked kind of rizzed by that. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh, she smiled. She smiled at her when she said that.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have minded being Worm's baby.
Yeah. I also wonder, you're right. I also wonder, how did the two of them, how is that between Worm and Breeze?
How's that dynamic gonna go?
Oh, yeah. And when you think about it, are they practically around the same age? Because Breeze has been in college for about 1 year now.
And Worm is young too.
And Worm was also talking about he was working to go to college as well too, or he worked to get money for college. So either way, there's going to be some issues there. Yeah, there's going to be some issues there for sure. And then after that, we get LaWanda and T having a moment about holding the family down when finally, after his photo was released in the very early looks of this season, Paula Lepre, I believe it's how you say his name, who everybody knows from so many different projects, comes in as DeMarcus, the new boyfriend.
STARZ, I'm about to say P-Valley.
Yeah, I hate to typecast my boy, but like they love making him somebody's boyfriend. And here you go. And he loves his queen, and he flaunts it in front of T's face, but T is not bothered one bit. But it will be interesting to see with a casting like him, because I also don't think you put him on the books unless you got some plans.
Did you say T wasn't bothered? What did you see? Because T was clearly bothered.
I see T. I didn't see T. Okay, so when I say bothered, I mean T is always going to be like, I'm the man anyway, regardless. I feel like he wasn't bothered in a way as if this was going to be a big deal. I definitely think this is going to be a measure of him being jealous and possibly want to, but I don't see him being like timid. I guess timid's the word I'm looking for here. Like, he's
not at all timid.
I think he was more clean with like the establishment that Marquisha and LaWanda made for him, where they was like, we're going to just be cool. But now he's like, oh man, now I feel like I might got to get more energy towards her because somebody done got my baby mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he made a statement. DeMarcus made a statement. He praised her. They worked together, praising his black queen. And we're in
the mayor's office together. They doing everything legit.
But yeah, T gained some weight as we see him getting up. And when all that happened, there is bullets flying through the restaurants. And he said, as soon as I thought I was getting out, it pulls me back in. Now, I will say, my obviously Boom folks did this. I think that's pretty easy to put together there. I didn't like the commentary note right here, because I think they should have left a little bit to wonder if anybody got hit, because the entire family was in there. But I will say, as soon as I thought I was getting out, it pulls me back in, was a statement of, I can't leave Detroit right now. I got things to handle here. And I don't think it's because somebody got shot. I just think it's a matter of like there's a turf war still here that he needs to clean up that he hasn't resolved, and he's not going to step off until he does. Or am I just wrong? Or you think somebody did get hit, and who do you think it is?
I'm not sure if someone got hit, but I took it as I want to get out, and they keep pulling me back in. As that exit plan that he told Markeisha about by moving to LA, he realizes that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think it's him staying in Detroit. I think he realizes now, oh, I'm in this game. Like, this is not going to go away.
Yeah.
Like, even me moving away, the threat is always still going to be there of something happening. And I got to adjust myself to knowing I'm not getting out of this game.
Yeah.
Now, will they have somebody die because of this? It's a possibility. If it would be anybody, it would be Breeze.
Yeah.
And that's just for storytelling purposes, it would make the most sense.
Yeah. So let's get to the last few scenes here. So we got Platinum Palace where we find out that Meech's girl Ashley is pregnant as she decides to pass on the drink. She says she's gonna go tell Tina. Maria shows up. Maria was the one that was with Purdy that he was flirting on earlier.
Yep.
And he tried to, it seemed like he was going to just disrespect this girl right in front of her face, but he says, like, I hate to break it to you, but I'm about to have a baby. And she dismisses herself by saying goodbye to Demetrius. Karina shows up now. She basically tries to introduce herself like Purdy, and because of what she heard of Purdy, but she's rolling with Trail, and he peeped the scene and realized, like, no, you with Trail, this ain't gonna work. And a fight break out per usual. And with that, Tina grabs a bottle, smashes it on her head, then gets thrown on the ground. She's on the ground the entire time. That's all I kept laughing about. I was like, damn, Tina down bad on the bottom back there, down there. She not getting up. But with Meech and them scrapping, we'll come back to that one, man. But then we get to see Abe, who goes to see Bryant, where he says, like, I had a good dream about Milton. I think I finally found my piece. I hope you find yours. And while we think Bryant may be chasing his piece, because that's what this scene is all about, he is only chasing one thing, and it has nothing to do with his son, Kevin, who passed away. It is about him going after Big Meech. When they get the call, Mike Taylor gets the call saying there's been a fight that broke out there. They know it's the BMF party. They're on the way. And when they get there, they're trying to break up the fight, clean up the fight. Tina gets picked up. The bottle accidentally, she says, oh my God, I accidentally cut on with the bottle, which she is sitting here admitting that she was the one that did it. She was the one that we seen who did it, who hit with the bottle. But dude is down there bleeding out and ain't looking good. It is Trail's boy. And Tina's panicking, like, what does he die? They drop the bottle in the bag. They try to get up out of there. They get stopped. And when they get stopped, Brian is the one who arrests him, saying, I gotcha. Locks him up or puts him in handcuffs. They get the bottle out the thing. And we says this is either going to be attempted murder or murder one. And then we get the commentary of him saying, like, my American dream's far from over. And then at the end, in the credits, we just hear some mixing of the audio from different moments in the season. But that's the end of this episode here. Now, all I want to say is that Tina, as I said earlier, gives me the reputation of she's going to be 10 toes down. She's going to take this charge. We know he's not going to be in jail for all the things they want to get him on for. Yeah. But she takes the charge. Meeks gets her out. I believe Tina is going to become this character, and I can't think of her name right now, but the character that when they were hitting the road between Atlanta and Miami all the time, I believe this is who that's going to be. The one that was like Miss BMF, the one that was, well, let me look her up real quick.
Isn't this
She's in the documentary.
That technically owns the rights to BMF?
Hold on, let me see real quick.
Begins with a J, doesn't it? I think she owns the rights to BMF because, you know, Meech doesn't own the story to BMF anymore. 50 was very adamant talking about that. That Meech don't own the rights to BMF.
Not her. Not Tonisha. Shoot. What is her name? Was her name actually Tina? Let me just check this real quick.
That may be it.
Nah, BMF documentary season 1. Oh, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can look at the cast for it. and find that out, because she was definitely so just in case for y'all watching, oh yeah, Yogi, that's who it was. Meech's personal assistant, Yolanda. Yep, Yogi. That I wonder if that's who she's going to end up being.
And that's the person who owns the rights to BMF's story.
Okay.
She's the one who set this up with STARZ because Meech signed over the rights to her.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what 50 uses against her, because he was saying that they're producing a different thing with her telling the real truth about it. A bunch of BS to me. But nonetheless, she's the one who owns the real rights to the series.
Yeah.
Now. So, yeah, that will be interesting if that's who she becomes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I see that playing out. So as we wrap up now, a couple of things to kind of think about going forward here. Now Meech gets arrested, and I already told you my thoughts about that. But also, we have to think about how the motivations change here, because now that he's going to have Tina, who's clearly going to be loyal, he's going to have somebody legitimately loyal in his corner now. And it's not something he's had often, but Tina's going to be that person. But also, too, his motivation has to change because he's bringing in another kid. And we know while the other kid was kind of a if you know type of thing, because the kid barely appears or mentioned in the show. But with this being little Meech, you have to imagine how important this has to become.
The one that was always around
everything. Him. Yeah, so you got the arrest at Platinum Palace, and basically with Ashley's pregnancy and him being arrested, and Tina obviously going to have to take the fall for it. The cliffhanger at Terry's restaurant, and with Marquisha's husband, by the way, with Boom. There's just so much to really make it this too. So
yeah,
I don't know. We're gonna see how it all plays out. We're gonna see how this all plays out. You got anything else you want to add for this episode as we finally wrap up season 4?
Look, I am just more focused on exactly how all this is going to play out. Brian can finally say it's no more bring me Spider-Man. It's now I got Spider-Man.
Because I got Spider-Man.
I got Spider-Man. But just like when Jay Jonah caught Spider-Man, it wasn't as fulfilling.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're going to get with Brian here. Is that we know how this plays out. We know this is not the end of Meech in any way, shape, form, or fashion. We're about 10 years away from that.
Yeah.
So we do know that something happens that leads him to getting out. And I think that I was way more interested that all of a sudden this cop from Detroit has now taken over a task force in Atlanta. And now he runs everything all of a sudden.
Yeah.
All because he wants Meech.
I love that for him. Love a good promotion.
To me. Disgraced cop in Detroit. All of a sudden, he done ran all the way up to the top of the police department in Atlanta. That's insane. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays itself out. I mean, granted, we still don't have official word on season 5, but we already know this is not set up as a finale.
Right.
So you kind of wonder what's going to be next with this storyline. And if we're going to the years of Lil Meech being born, then we are getting to the crux of what made BMF BMF. And that will be an explosive season to even show exactly what made BMF BMF. Because, again, Michael Chiklis, I think, plays the main detective on a documentary who came in with all the paperwork about this is what we built on BMF to show everything. Like, this is going to be very interesting to see how they move forward in the future. And in closing out this season, which I think it's a setup season, is a season to really set up the final leg of the BMF story. I think it did a decent job of at least giving you that.
Yeah.
Like putting all the family members in a place where now you understand that all of them in a way become integrated in the business and how that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. We'll wait until we hear the news about what happens with the next season. Definitely.
I mean, Heather already.
I feel very confident we'll at least have one more season, if anything.
Heather already did an interview, so we got to see how that goes.
And also, too, you have to imagine you can't cancel the series when you know they need at least 2 more seasons of the documentary, because if they got one with T, you already know who's going to want to talk for season 3.
You already know what's coming with Meech. Because there's no way you give it T as one and you're not doing one with Meech. And that's going to be interesting. I think that's going to be the biggest thing is this doc with this next docuseries element with T coming out.
And they don't have the date. They don't have the date yet. But the way they cut it, they said, BMF was about family. Family's everything. And we get Terry with the comment of, well, we know that's not true. And I'm not sure if I think it was cut for it to look that way, but I don't think he was saying that family isn't everything, because this whole season was about T acknowledging that family was everything to him.
I mean, I think it's going to be interesting, because how much of this is true about the relationship with the brothers? All we knew is that they separated. We knew that one was on one coast, the other one's on the other coast. But we never dig deep into exactly how that separation happened, how the business got separated that way, and what did BMF look like when that happened.
Yeah.
And I think talking to T is going to give you because we said at the moment he got out that, oh, you're going to get him on something. It's going to be very interesting when they sit down and have a conversation with him about how everything went.
Yeah.
And then after that, if you give another season, and then at the end of that season, you get the conversation with Meech, STARZ has fulfilled itself of what they need to do. Like, you don't need anything else after that.
Yeah. Well, y'all let us know y'all thoughts about BMF season 4. Let us know your thoughts about the finale episode. We're sorry we got to y'all late, but we are here one way or another. We were going to get it done one way or another. But yeah, we'll see y'all back in we'll just see y'all around, because we got plenty more things coming up at different times and different shows, different series, different networks, and all that good stuff. So we always appreciate the love here for us, but definitely everything with us at Big O Belt Media. So thank y'all once again for kicking it with us, and we see y'all back soon for more recaps and reviews from the good folks here at Big O Belt Media. Thank y'all so much for watching, folks.
I